I guess while we wait for, we'll give everyone a couple more minutes to jump in, but before we get our demonstration and training from HaulHub, was there any questions or anything anybody wanted to chat about? I did just have one update. I just wanted to let everybody know that even though we did release a new version of Fieldbook a few weeks ago, or actually maybe a few months ago now, some users were still reporting that they were seeing a pop-up when right before they logged in that told them to update, even though they already have. So we did release a new version of the app that actually fixed that pop-up, so it shouldn't happen anymore. So the newest version of the Fieldbook app is going to be 3.3.2. So if anyone is still having any issues or if they're seeing that pop-up, just make sure you update to that newest version. And if you do have any issues with that, of course, you can reach out to me or our support team anytime. Les, anything from you that you wanted to bring up?
I do have a few, I guess they're more like announcements. So, one, I don't know if you all have had a chance to look at the newsletter yet, but the newsletter has a link to a Headlight 101 field book training. So something that we've been wanting to get up on our YouTube page for a while. Casey was kind enough to do a couple of those for us and record it. And so that if you have new inspectors coming in or people who just need a refresher, just remember is very basic. This does not go through all of the detailed spreadsheet stuff that the site manager requires, but it is the basics of how to use the Fieldbook app. So that should be great for those new users coming in. I think the second thing is, which we have Alex Richardson on today from HaulHub. We are beginning a really big push throughout LADOTD for e-ticketing. And I know you guys have started to hear some of that, but he's doing a training today on the webinar for us. That's going to be the big session we have. But here over the next I believe 4 weeks, starting next week, we're going to start doing 2 training sessions a week to get everybody kind of on board. And so I will be sending out the invites this afternoon, hopefully. And so it's just, we copied over one Zoom call for every meeting, and it's kind of just come when you can come. I will send out a little form you can fill out just to let us know when you plan to attend. And we'll try to keep track so that those who maybe miss all of them or you just don't have time to come to those, we can kind of get something together for you later on. But that's our big push right now. So we are full steam ahead on e-ticketing, and so we want to make sure we get you all trained up, and Alex has got all that planned. Um, Third thing, I know we have probably been kind of preaching this for a couple of years now since we rolled out sample plan for Headlight. We have gotten dinged again by legislative auditors, and so we are trying to move away from the legislative auditors looking for the ATM or the 2059 stuff. So what they do now is they look kind of at the late list and see which projects have not been turned in. And then when they see that, they say, oh, well, you guys are not doing your QA process. And that's not exactly true. Just because we are late turning in a project does not mean we're not doing the QA. And so what we're trying to move them towards is being able to look at that sample plan or materials dashboard. If they pick your project, if you're P and they pick your project, and they can go to that dashboard and say, okay, this says, according to this material and this quantity that has been placed, there should be 3 soil samples created for this job. Oh, look, they've created 3, 2 of them passed, 1 of them failed. So they're on track, even though they have a failing sample. And so that just proves that we are doing that QA process instead of the only thing for us to be able to show them is that 2059 is not turned in or not complete. So anyway, so I think you'll be seeing a bigger push to kind of move towards that Headlight sample plan, because that was the direction that we gave, when some of our DOTD leadership asked, okay, well, what are you gonna do about this? Because y'all keep getting hit on this. That was one of the things was we're gonna move them towards that sample plan in headlight and the dashboard. So anyway, one of the first, I will say this, in District 61, we have two of the first ones that I've heard of being turned in, and they're actually completed by the PE, and they're turned in ready to be signed by the district lab engineer. So I'll keep you updated on how that goes, but we think that we got that process worked out at least pretty decent. Of course, we want your feedback as you are turning in projects with headlight. If there's something you see that needs to be adjusted, please let us know, because we want this to work for you all, right? Sometimes we get in this office and we think it should be one way, and sometimes we miss on that. And so we really need that help from the PE offices and the labs, letting us know if it's working correctly or not. And last but not least, for PEs or maybe any area engineers we have on here, we are planning, the headquarters construction section is planning another round of meetings where we will be coming to each district in the month of April and into May, because there's 9 of them and it takes us a while to get around to everybody. But we'll be doing another, the area engineer, project engineer meetings we did, I don't know, maybe it was a year and a half ago now for some of them, or even maybe more for 04 and 05. So we'll be heading your way again. This time, I have heard that this will include contractors. So it will not just be Ps and area engineers, but we'll bring the contractors in. And one of the main reasons for that is this session, we're going to schedule them for all day. I don't think they'll take all day, but we're going to schedule the time. This will also include a change order training session. And so this will give you a really good idea of the new formats that we are looking at, or that we need for each type of change order. And it'll tip off the contractor, since they're there, what you all need for them to turn into you. And so that's why we're including everybody. And so I think that's going to be really great to kind of just get our heads around that, and probably also for us to hear the feedback you have about our change order process right now. So if you're a PE or area engineer, start putting your thoughts together on that, because we'd really like to have that feedback. That's all I have. I hope that you all have some questions, so we can maybe do a short Q&A, and then we're going to turn it over to Alex.
I have a question about HaulHub.
Okay, go ahead. I heard somebody say they had a question.
This is Will. I
Hey,
have a
Will.
question about HaulHub.
Okay.
Whenever the plant is using the mixer trucks, you can identify their number. When we do a concrete paving and we use the dump trucks, we really can't use HaulHub because we need the paper ticket to know which truck we are actually stepping. Then we would be able to pick that going on.
It's a little hard to hear you, Will, but I think I'm following what you're saying. So if you are pouring, say you're pouring a catch basin and it shows up in a mixer truck from a supplier, there's a number on there and you can kind of match that up. But when you're concrete paving and you have just a bunch of dump trucks dumping the concrete out on the roadway, you're saying, or on the base there, so you're saying that you don't have a way to really identify that truck as being dumped. Is that right?
That's correct.
I'll be honest with you, this is not my area of expertise, at least not yet. Alex, do you have any thoughts on that, or have y'all dealt with that before?
No, that is a great call out. So you're saying, just to confirm, in that case, the vehicle IDs are not being included on even the physical tickets, right? So that means we wouldn't have it on the e-ticket side.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think it's possible in that situation for us to get with the supplier to update their ticket mapping to include the vehicle ID? Or is it a case where they never have included the vehicle ID in that kind of process?
I don't recall them ever.
Yeah, the little bit of concrete pavement I did, I don't remember there ever being a connection between the truck and
Maybe
I don't
drive
know,
a team?
We did get tickets. We did get tickets from the plant that will, there's not a, I guess they don't tie the dump truck number to that ticket though. It was just a ticket saying, hey, this load went out there.
Okay.
Typically, these dump trucks are independent, contractors, so they're not part of
that-
like a port ag or whatever.
That's right. I forgot about that as well. Sometimes the contractor does not have their own dump trucks and they are hiring those dump trucks out. So yeah, I'm okay. We'll take that down, Will, and try to figure out a good solution there because that is gonna be a problem. I appreciate you bringing that up.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Anybody else? Other questions?
Just curious if I remember I had brought it up a couple of times in the past. I had submitted that ticket and I sent y'all the videos on the headlight sample and plan how when you create a sample using the whatchamacallit, the category instead of using the exact material code, how it was erasing the line item number, if there's been any movement on that yet.
When they're created through on the dashboard, you mean, Kevin? Is that the one where?
Yeah, when you're using dashboard, but however, instead of you actually clicking on an individual material code, you're using the category and then it pops up that other window where you have a choice of a bunch of different type of material codes underneath that category. That's where I was showing y'all on that video how I was erasing the line item codes.
Les, I know this one had come up in the BBF with Gabby, and I am saying this on a recorded call, so I hope I don't shoot myself in the foot here. But Kevin, I think that's slated for release for the 18th of this month.
Okay, 10-4.
Yeah, I do remember getting an update about that, but just as Kevin was saying that, I want to check with what y'all are fixing there because I kind of feel like I know what's going on. So this is actually maybe, and this is something else I kind of wanted to talk about at least quickly, is that so you generate your project in Site Manager, right? And then it normally gives you Site Manager usually puts in a, sample plan, right? And some of the materials get added to line items when you generate the project. I think I'm right on that. And so when you're creating, the headlight sees that information, right? It receives that data. And so when you're creating some samples, the line items are there just as you need. But then there are other times where specific material does not get added to a line item. And when you try to sample that or try to create a sample ID for that, then the line item does not show up. And if the line item does not show up, inspectors normally won't select anything. They'll just say, oh, well, it's not there, and they move on and they save that sample. Well, that sample will sync over to Site Manager LIMS, but it will not sync to the project. It's just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. And so the fix for that is there's really two ways, but I'm going to tell you the way we prefer. So you actually can go into Site Manager and add that material to the line item, kind of the old way we used to do it in the sample plan section of LIMS, or you can go add a testing requirement for that material in sample plan. And I think that's really the way we want to start doing that we really need to start building our projects in sample plans so that the materials are there for the inspectors to select line items for. And I think Kevin, and that's why I think this is related, because you select the category. And so there's not a specific material on that line item attached. It's just the category, right? And so then when they go in to select the specific, then the line item doesn't show up because there was not a specific thing selected in the sample plan. So
yeah, that's correct. Yeah, because like in some cases, like some of the concrete works, well, you can have different type classes or structural types of concrete that are an option. And even in the EDSM, it says that if we have to use a category to create a sample plan, and that's what we used to do on when we would make sample plans on an Excel spreadsheet or on a Word document, for the work that has several different, material codes that could be possible, well then, that's what the EDSM said. But like I said, it's working to the point where if we click that category, the window pops up to give us a choice of what material codes to use. But because that individual material code was not associated with the line item, it goes away.
I think Casey, we can talk about that offline, and maybe me, you and Gabby get together and just make sure that what was supposed to come out on the 18th would solve that problem. So
Okay.
thanks, Kevin. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I think right now you have to add each material code to the line item number for it to show up.
Yep. I think so. All right, were there any other questions before we move on? All right, I think we're gonna turn it over to Alex and let him walk us through what we're supposed to do on receiving tickets, or all the intricacies that are involved there.
I appreciate it, Les, and thank you everybody for the time today. So yeah, the focus for our conversation today is really just going to be kind of the foundational aspects. So just kind of the basics, if you will, right? So how to interact with ticket data on mobile, as far as marking it as delivered or adding a note or a picture. An aspect of offline mode. So in those cases where you guys are in an area that doesn't have good cell reception, you're still able to log these tickets. And then when you get back into cell coverage, we'll push the data through so you have everything. And then how to ask for help. So we have a missing ticket report aspect. So let me do this. Let me go ahead and present my screen. And I've tossed myself into your portal just so you guys can see everything with your data. Let me know when I'm up for you guys.
Good, Alex.
Sweet. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is me logged in again to your portal. Just a heads up, guys, I am on iPhone, but it is also available on Android. For the most part, all of the features are one-to-one. Just sometimes a little visual differences. So this is your today's screen. And so this is kind of like your home base. So as soon as you log in, you're met with projects that have been ticketed within the last 24 hours. Right now, up top, we have these time range chip filters. Right now, we're on the today chip filter, which is why we're not seeing any data. When I go to yesterday to kind of comb back, there we go. Now we have some projects with some fresh data. And then another one that I did want to highlight for you guys on the chip filter side is this custom chip filter. The reason being, like in cases of night work, or really any time projects take place like outside of like normal production hours, you can use this to hone in on that time window. And then once you hit apply, the information is going to reflect the update in time here. So the quantity of product of material ticketed, along with the tickets themselves. Okay. And then so just to view the tickets, super easy. We're just going to click into the project window. I'm going to select the I-10. And now we're met with this status here because currently we're only on the pending side. So all of these tickets have been marked delivered. So well done to the people on this project. So I'm going to select delivered. So I guess give me 1 second. There we go. So is the time range that was throwing it off. So I'll go back to yesterday to reflect the same selection on the project. There we go. And let me do this. Let me turn back to pending to see. There we go. Perfect. All right. So we do have some tickets in the pending status. And by default, the tickets start in pending. So, as soon as the plant prints that physical ticket, and then, a few minutes later, you guys have visibility on the e-ticket. You'll notice that it has that pending status there to the right of the ticket card. And it stays there until you guys take an action. So marking it as delivered, for example. Before I do that, I just kind of wanted to highlight what's available on the ticket card. So top left, we have the ticket number, and the center section, we have that load count. Top right is the daily total. So that's going to continue to update on its own, again, based on the quantity found on the physical ticket. And then we have the date and timestamp for you guys there. Again, there's that reference on the status. That is the hauler company. There's the vehicle ID, and then there's the individual or ticketed quantity here. And then lastly, the product. And then down below that section, you notice we have a few, hotkeys just to make things as easy as possible for you guys to click in and make some updates. So you see that mark delivered in bold. You can quickly add, some station ID information. I'll click on notes so you guys can see what this looks like. So it has a lot of, the standard information that you guys need to capture, while on these projects, plant temps, field temps, ambient temps. And then as I scroll down, here's some additional fields as well. We have a note section, so you can have like, little custom, daily logbook if needed. And then in the top right, the cool thing is you can customize the information or the fields that are present here. So if I click on that add field section, here's all of the fields available, and you can toggle anything that's not helpful off to help, kind of clean up your workspace. And this is all per user. So any selections, that you make on your device, kind of in your individual portal, doesn't affect like the rest of the team on their side. Okay. Actually, I'll take a quick pause there. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. So then let's do this. I'll mark a ticket as delivered. I'm going to do this load number 1 just to keep it easy so I can go back and make that change back to pending. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, though, I did want to just quickly cover these project bubbles up top. So like, as you notice, we have a count in the center, and that's the number of tickets, for example. And then the orange halo around it is just due to the fact that it's within the last 24 hours. So it's live, fresh data. And then as we scroll over, let's see if we have anything else. No, we don't have anything in the other project bubbles. But, let's say, for example, people captured images, photos on these projects. Of course, it would reflect the count of photos. But if it was beyond that 24-hour window, it's not going to have, that active orange halo around it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and mark load number 1 as delivered. It's going to bring up this notification just confirming, that was my intent. So we'll hit OK. And now you notice that it's no longer present. And that again is back to the status and the filter that we're currently on. So right now we're looking at everything in the pending side. So let's go ahead and toggle over to delivered. And that's going to update. And then I can also have a sort option as well. So right now we're looking at, new tickets to old. Let's go ahead and flip that. Perfect. So now load number 1 is up top. So we're reviewing everything in order. But as you can see, you kind of have a few options in how to kind of, filter through the data. And then the cool thing being, as soon as an update is made to one of these tickets, the whole team has visibility on who made those actions. So if I click into that ticket card, so I'm going to click on load number 1. It's going to take me to the raw ticket data. So here's where I mentioned that whole aspect of capturing, one-to-one what's present on the physical ticket. So there's all of the fields that should be available. And then you notice we have an inspector review section. If I hit that drop down, there's visibility on the inspector who marked this load as delivered, along with, the date and time. There's a signature to the right. Great job, Jeremy. Thank you for setting that up. So as you can see, really just providing transparency all the way around for the entire team. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. So let's do this. We've marked a ticket as delivered. Let's kind of quickly go over how to add photos. So you notice, even as we've clicked into the individual ticket, we have a dedicated photos tab. So if we click there, it's going to take us to this section here. We can upload an image. And, normal rules apply. If it's the first time that you're giving the app permission, you have to give the app permission in order to, capture an image or to access your photo library. But once you've done that, every time forward, you'll be good to go. So as you can see, you can, take a photo fresh from this spot, or if it's an image that already lives in your photo library, you can just select it there. And then once you do so, it's going to attach itself to that ticket. Okay. And that again is visible by the whole team. So if we click out, another area that those photos can be viewed is we do have a dedicated photos project bubble. So if we click there, that's going to take us over to our gallery. And then we can, this is another option as far as a space where you can upload images. So again, few different options for you guys there. Okay, any questions so far on, marking a ticket as delivered or uploading photos? Okay, let's add a note. Similar to what we saw on the photo side. Again, if I click that button, it's going to take me to these fields here. Any updates here are also going to trigger that update like we saw in this section here. So the inspector review section, you also get that update of who, added the note along with the information they provided within this field here. Okay. All right, so then let's do this. Let's take a tour of offline mode. Bear with me here, guys. I'm on the road. Let's do this. I'm going to turn cell coverage and Wi-Fi off. And if I back out, actually, let me show you the transition there. Let me go back in. So notice this is back on the Today tab. Notice we have at the bottom center, that button is green, letting us know that we're online, okay? If I turn off any sort of cell coverage, it turns to red. So this is the indicator letting you guys know that you no longer have cell coverage, and so you've already automatically entered offline mode. So to catalog those tickets while in offline mode, I'm just going to click into that red icon. It's going to give me this prompt for the first time, just letting me know, are you ready to log an offline ticket? I'm going to say yes and hit continue. And then here we're brought into offline mode. You'll notice we have 3 tabs, a create new, a pending tickets, and a sent tickets tab. All right, so right now we're in create new, and we try to make this, again, as simple and intuitive as possible. All we really need is just 3 inputs. So first, of course, is the project you're working on. So you can just select that via the dropdown. Next is just the last 4 digits that are present on the physical ticket. So I'll do, 1, 2, 3, 4, for example. And then lastly, being the status of the ticket. So like, again, everything's going to first start as pending. Do you want to mark it as delivered or rejected and so on? And then once you do that, it's going to catalog that ticket. And if I go over to our pendings ticket section, oh, it's because I'm still offline. So I'll transition myself back to on. I'll go back into that manage ticket screen for the offline mode. And then I'm going to go to pending. And there we go. So there's a list of all of the tickets that were pending for these projects. And then it gives you some high-level insights within each of the windows. So, the last attempt, the project name itself, the count of tickets that were trying to be sent. And then even on that top right, that bubble there, that's the total number across all of the offline mode tickets that were logged. And then our system is automatically going to try to push this information through every 6 hours. But if you guys, get back into good cell coverage before then, you have a way to manually push it. So that paper airplane icon to the bottom right, that's going to manually push things through for you guys. It'll let you know when, it's successfully sent. And then so what that does is that just kind of refreshes our system and pulls through any of the e-tickets that match those parameters that you guys have inputted. So we'll look for those last 4 digits of the ticket number, make sure, everything lines up there, and then it'll be present for you guys within your e-ticketing portal like normal. Okay. And then lastly, the sent ticket section. So there we go. So it gives you a green check, letting you know when something has successfully been pushed through. So you have visibility kind of all along the way, like as these the ticket data is progressing. Okay, so then let's talk a little bit about how to ask for help. So if you guys get into a situation where a project is clicking on, and then one day tickets stop flowing, we provided you guys a way to let us know, and also the supplier know, most importantly, really. So if you click on that plant icon to the top right, that's going to take you to your missing ticket screen. And here on the bottom, you can report a new outage. Okay. So similar to what we saw on the offline mode, it's just a form, that needs to be completed. Everything with an asterisk is a required input. So as you can see, there's only 4 inputs that we need. For example, the issue type. So like if you're missing tickets completely, the project that you're missing tickets for. So I'm going to go ahead and do the test project. The supplier who is providing the material. Go do less construction. The plant who's providing that material. One. And that's it. So those are the only 4 things that are required, but we do have additional fields. So if you have this information, strongly suggest you input it as well. Every additional detail definitely helps in the search. So like, any missing ticket numbers that you have on the physical ticket side. So then once that's complete, you just hit submit request. And I don't know if you guys could hear that, but I just got a notification. The reason being that this hits 2 separate spots. So it hits an internal Slack channel that we monitor on the HaulHub side. And then, like as I mentioned, as far as looping in the supplier, it also hits their product, Supplier CI. They have a dedicated module to house this information. And the cool thing is they can interact with you guys. So like if they needed additional information, like some ticket numbers, they can message you guys. You'll get that message on like your mobile device. And you can kind of close that feedback loop as far as what information they need. And then once that's all set, on the supplier side, they have a way to update and reflect that status to let everyone know that the issue has been resolved. So really the whole goal here is just to really kind of make things resolve these issues as quickly as possible, for everyone involved. Okay, I'll take another quick pause before we transition over to web. Any questions?
I have a question about the offline.
Awesome. Okay.
Um, what if we don't have a physical ticket? How do we know what ticket number to pick?
Yeah, that's a great call out. We would need some sort of number. So I don't know if you just want to make like I'll piggyback. I'll get curious to get your feedback there, Les. Like if they don't have a physical ticket, would it be okay for them to enter a number like the load that they think they're on? Or would you rather they hold off and not log anything while in offline mode in that situation?
I'm not really sure. My first thought is I would probably hold off because you don't want to make up a number and then later on, I guess later on you could go change it. Is that the case?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, I would hold off on making up a number because again, we're automatically going to look for that information every 6 hours. So if the physical ticket kind of is not an option for you, maybe just keep a log like within the notes section on another ticket, because that will still be captured and visible by the whole team. And then in that case, you may want to do a new outage. And then that way you can let us know what information you're missing. And then that'll ping the supplier to kind of jump in and figure out like what the issue is. Does that help, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That was a great question. Anybody else have any, I see something in the chat. Was that the same? Was that the one we just discussed? Oh, that was your initial. Okay, perfect. All right, so let's do this. If there's no other questions on the mobile side, I'll go ahead and move over to web. And then we can kind of take a tour of your web portal there. Let me stop sharing this screen. And then I should be up for you guys soon on the desktop. Let me know when you can see my screen there. Good. Okay. All right. So this is me logged into your portal as an admin. As you guys log into on the website, you'll just be met with a full list of projects that you have access to. We've actually recently updated these project cards. So if you've logged in before, but this is your first time kind of seeing your portal in a few weeks, you're not wrong. Changes have been made. So we kind of cleaned up the look, just made it, easier to kind of read what was going on. And then we've also updated just the activity associated with each click. So if you wanted to view simply the delivered tickets, you can click there. It's going to take you to your managed ticket screen. And then you're met with our flex grid. So for those of you guys that haven't seen this before, all of these columns with the 6 gray dots can be dragged and dropped to the area above. And then that's going to help you filter the information. So if first I wanted to view things by customer name, and then by supplier, or let's go product description actually, and then date. As you can see, it updated every time. And then just a note here, the count in the parentheses is the number of tickets, okay? So, first we have Gilchrist Construction. We get a breakdown of the product descriptions across everything supplied so far. Again, with the count of each product. And then if we drill one layer deeper, here's a breakout of the dates, for each of these products. So again, the goal just to help you guys hone in on the data as quickly as possible, to help you guys navigate your day. And then similar to what we saw on the mobile side, to view the individual raw ticket data, we just click into that line item. So like this ticket here, for example, and then that's going to bring up our delivered screen. And then same rules apply to like we saw on mobile. Here's the raw ticket data. Here's our DOT inspector review section. So that's all still present. And then any sort of notes can be added on the website as well, or edited for that matter. So if you originally captured the information on mobile, and then, fast forward to the end of the day, you're back in the office, you can use your laptop or PC, to make any sort of changes or updates to things you've done in the field, okay? And then as you can see, we still have access to the photos tab. So again, nothing goes away as you transition over to the website. There's actually some additional benefits as well for being on the web. So, not only do you have additional real estate, so we can show you a larger image of the ticket, but you can also download these slips, both at an individual and bulk level. So top right on each of the tickets, you'll see that download slip button. And then if I back out and get rid of these guys here, these filters, just to kind of show you, I can select, all of these tickets that are present there. And then this little toolbar in the bottom center section can be used to perform bulk actions. So as I mentioned, I can download all of the slips, or I can mark them all delivered, rejected, and so on. This really comes in handy as we get you guys into the whole reconciliation workflow. We'll talk about that next time, but I just wanted to highlight, bottom to the left of that toolbar, you see that you can assign pay codes at a bulk level as well. Okay, so let me back out. Oh, actually, before I do that, just wanted to show you on the chip filter side within the web portal, you have both a time range filter, so you can hone in on the specific timeline. Again, like if you wanted to capture a night job or any particular, bucket of time, and then also date range. So just a handy calendar picker for you guys there as well. So some hot buttons there at the top. And then of course, you can select the days that you need to isolate yourselves there. And then backing out to that project itself. So we'll click into the project module. You're met with the ticket performance overview module. So you can quickly see, the count of tickets that match or that meet each individual status. So, we have 197 pending tickets, just over 1,100 tickets that have been marked delivered. And then we're also going to indicate to you the last time that you checked an individual module. So like if you had to, you're working on something, of course, fire comes up, you handle that, you come back to your workspace. We'll let you know the last module you interacted with, just so you can kind of like easily pick up where you left off. But similar to what we looked at before, if we clicked into the delivered section, we're taken to our managed ticket screen. Okay. And then lastly, on the reporting side, I would strongly suggest, if you guys haven't done so already, to opt into the auto daily delivery report. So in this reporting section here, make sure you select it on delivery report. It's going to do that by default. And then you hit create report. And then there's our automatic tab, and just click that auto send button. The cool thing being is, every day at noon, you'll just, automatically a report with the previous day's tickets will hit your inbox. So you'll have visibility on the ticket data. Okay. And that's really it as far as kind of the foundational aspects of the e-tickets. We covered how to interact with the e-tickets on both web and mobile, adding a note, adding a picture. We covered offline mode, to catalog those tickets in that situation where you do have the physical ticket, just to help, true up the info as you guys get back into good cell coverage. And then also how to ask for help on that, ticket outage report side. And then, that delivery report, I think, again, is going to be very helpful for you guys as you operate your day, like on a variety of projects. And I can stop there and then hand it over to you guys for any questions. I think
Is there a way I can see like a tally of how many tickets each individual inspector accepted? Yeah, accepted.
it's kind of, sorry about that. It's kind of hard to hear you. So was that, the question was, is there a way to see the quantity of each ticket accepted?
By each individual person.
Did you catch that last part, Les? Each
So
individual.
it was, I think what he's asking is, so if they have, 4 inspectors on the project accepting loads of whatever,
Okay.
is there a way to filter per user to see which ones they accepted? I think that's what he was
Yes.
asking.
Great question. That's it. Yeah, that's a really good one. Okay, so let me get back up. Give me 1 second. Okay, so back on the website, if I go back in that managed ticket screen, this filter here is going to allow you to add additional columns for you. And so one of those being inspector information. So if I go to, we have the DOT inspector field. So I can drag that over here to make it visible, and then I'll hit save. And that's going to update for me. And as you notice, that's one of those filterable columns. So yes, you can filter by inspector. It's going to give you that update, that count of tickets, per inspector. And then you can dig a little deeper if you needed to, right? You can break it out by date or the customer or product that each individual inspector accepted.
Hey, Alex, I have kind of a question here.
Yeah.
So, I guess one of the reasons Will's asking about this, and there are several others on this call that would have this situation. So Will is a Tech 7, a manager. And so, that's why he would probably be looking for what each of one of his inspectors were doing. But I noticed you're on the web here. So is he able to do that on the app, or should he be going through the Chrome browser on the iPad to do this if he's in the field?
Yeah, I would, yes, it's definitely on like the exclusive to the web portal. As far as the Flex Grid, on the mobile side, it's just going to be clicking through each individual ticket.
So, I'm, like I said, I'm not the pro at this, but I'm assuming using the app in the field to mark tickets delivered and photos and that kind of stuff is the main reason you're doing that is GPS, right? And just probably ease of use, like it's probably a little simpler, but
Exactly.
for managing stuff, you're gonna be on the web, and that is very similar to what we've been doing with headlights, so that
Okay.
kind of works the same way.
Yeah, I know. And then I guess if we have, let's see, are we good on time, Les? Can we cover the map really quick then?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
to,
you're good.
okay. All right. So backing out. So just, like for you managers out there who need visibility on a lot of different actions. So we've recently updated what this looks and feels like. So this is a great project for you guys because I know we have a high density of tickets marked as delivered. So I'm just trying to hone in on that area. That was me. Let me back out. There we go. So we've updated to give a heat map. So you get an understanding of the density of where the tickets were marked as delivered. And this project looks fantastic. For the most part, you guys, you can see all of these tickets marked as delivered are along that project line. And then we took it a step further. So we provided you some filters within the map itself. So if you wanted to isolate a particular supplier or material type, if there is a variety of materials or individual materials themselves or products, you can do so. And then we've also updated it to reflect the status of the ticket. So you get the count of tickets that meet each individual status to the left of that toggle. And then each status has its own color. So if I wanted to view just the delivered tickets, I flip that on. And then as I get closer to the job site, there's each of those pins, showing me where the ticket was marked as delivered. And then I can still click into those pins to access the information or the ticket itself. So to your point, perhaps we need to look at including inspector. Let me make a note of that for myself, okay? Give me 1 second, guys. Because correct me if I'm wrong, would this be like a viable tool for you guys on the team management side to view the map, or would you prefer to stay in the managed ticket screen and use the flex grid to isolate the count of tickets per inspector?
I'm not sure. It seems like both would be useful, like, I think
Okay.
look at the map to see where, some of those were accepted would be, I could see use cases for that. Will and them are probably the more experienced than I am with this, obviously, and so they might have better feedback, but
Hope would be good because I'll be able to see that they actually receive these on the site, but never doing it at all.
sorry, I missed that, Will. You're breaking up a little bit.
I think both of them would be good because with the map, I can also see if they're accepting them on the site or the way they can get like.
Ah, right. Yeah, and I'm always thinking too, well, like what if it was possible to add the inspector like on the filter side? So like, similar to the materials, here would be like your list of inspectors. I can, select just the one and then go over to the layer side to view the count marked as delivered, rejected, and so on, just to kind of make it easier. Does that seem like would be like a good workflow for you?
I would think so. If you could, for what Will was asking there, if he could select inspectors and see where on the map they mark tickets, I think that'd be beneficial to him.
Okay. That's a great call out. So yeah, I'll definitely share that with the product team and I'll keep you guys posted as that progresses, okay? What about the rest of the team? Any other questions, guys? Don't be shy. Well, I guess let me ask this to the group if we don't have any questions so far. Um, does everybody on the call have access to the portal? Because I know you guys have to like complete a form first to then be granted access to the application.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Right now, I know Headlight had developed an online form for us to import projects from Site Manager into Headlight Fieldbook. Is there a similar thing for the e-ticketing system?
So what he's asking, Alex, is onboarding projects. Like
Ah,
where would they go if they wanted to onboard one of their projects?
so the project creation portion that lives with like admin users less like yourself. So I know we're working on a bulk upload of team members. We can definitely do the same for projects. And then at the same time, we can make sure that the appropriate staff is applied to each project, just so that way, like as they're logging in, they have the full count of projects they're going to be on. And I think we're also working on the AWP integration as well with you guys, right?
Yeah, I think that you are. I think that you're talking about getting the projects imported from Precon.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
believe. Yeah,
So
Kevin,
yeah,
that's right. What he's saying there is they're working on, our pre-construction section at headquarters, I believe, uses AWP, and so they'll tie directly into HaulHub, so the project's just there for you. So, for now, what it sounds like is if you want to import a project, probably should send an email to the e-construction team, and we'll try to get that loaded for you, is what it sounded like to me. But in the future, once that tie-in is done, then the projects are just there.
yeah. Yeah, that's spot on. Yeah, that's a great call out, Kevin. Yeah, if you guys, and that's for the rest of the team too. If you don't see a project that you need access to, yeah, let the Les and the admin staff know.
And one more thing, Alex, if you
Yeah.
wouldn't mind, I hate to get you to do this again. I'm looking at the app on the iPad. Can you just real quick show me how you got to that screen where at the top it had like a bubble where it showed like how many photos were taken and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
totally. Yeah, give me 1 second. Let's see. My phone should still be up. It is. Let me just reshare my screen. Okay, so back on my phone. Let me go back out here. Okay, so you'll just click on the project itself. Oh, you know what? It probably is, Kevin. If you've clicked into a project under My Projects, you're not going to see those project bubbles. All of that lives in just the Today tab. So, do you have access to the I-10 or I-49 project?
I don't think so. What is it? We do have a project that we have e-ticketing, onboarded with it. But
Okay.
so yeah, because I'm looking on the Today tab, and it's just that we haven't had any tickets recently for that project.
Okay, try this though. If you, because I know, are you on iOS? You said you're on iPad, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see the idle chip filter to the top left of that row?
No, actually, I don't.
Okay. Yeah, that it was recently added, so I was just curious to see like what was over on production. I guess
Okay.
one other option we could try is just if you click on the custom tab and then expand that selection all the way to the left, so you have the past pretty much almost 24 hours, and then hit apply. Does
Let's
anything?
see. It's not that what it is. It's been since December that we had tickets brought out to
Oh,
that
okay.
with
So yeah,
asphalt.
okay.
So
No,
that
but
was the last time asphalt was laid on that project.
okay, 10-4. Yeah, no, that's a great catch though. So yes, the project bubbles, that all lives in the Today tab. So as you know, you're clicking into a live project, that's when you have the information up top. And so what Kevin was sharing, just for the rest of the group, is via My Projects. That's how you can view the historical data. So if we click in there, each of those project modules is going to show you the count of tickets to the bottom left and the ticketed quantity to the bottom right. And then you'll click into that module, and that's going to take you to the every ticketed day. And so you just click back into that day to view those tickets. But as Kevin noticed, you don't have the project bubbles within this section, at least not yet. But that's a great call out though. Thank you for that.
All right, so it looks like we have about 3 minutes left. Anybody have questions? And just so you know, like, yes, this was a more detailed training and kind of led you into it more, but we have 8 sessions coming up. Like I said, we'll be getting those invites out to you hopefully this afternoon, starting on the 18th and kind of running all the way through April. So you can kind of dive in a little more if you need to. And I'm sure we'll record those and try to get at least one of them up on our YouTube page as well to refer to.
Perfect. Yeah, then I think, and I'll get with you on this offline, Les, but I think maybe if we get them access to like a test project, so as we complete that bulk upload, at least they can log in and start clicking into some tickets. That might help too.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
We tend to try to give some kind of sandbox to play in, you know, at first when we get everybody onboarded, so that'd be awesome.
Okay.
All right. Last call for questions. All right, I think we're good. Alex, we appreciate you going through that for us this morning. And it's obvious that I need to dive in more and get more familiar with this since we are starting to roll this out statewide. So look forward to all of you diving in and trying to learn this e-ticketing stuff. I think it has huge benefits. I know I wish that we would have had e-ticketing when I was in the field. I hated dealing with all those paper tickets. And so I'm a little jealous, I'll just tell you, but happy we can start providing some of those tools for you. Thanks again, Casey. Appreciate you hosting for us today.
Thanks so much,
Thanks.
guys. Thanks, Alex. That was awesome.
Appreciate that. No, thanks for having me, guys. Always a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Yeah. Y'all have a good day. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.